Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new lecture series of Industrial Management. I am Prerna Agarwal, Assistant Professor at GEMS Engineering Management Technical Campus. Today's topic is Industrial Relation, and in this we are going to define the definition and the aspect, objective, and what is the need of industrial relation. So, basically, industrial relationship means the relation between the employer and the employee in course of employment in an industrial organization. It means the employer and the employee and the employment are the three important terms that we need to memorize here. It is a relationship between the employer and the employees who are working in a particular organization. Industrial relation is used to denote the collective relationship between management and the worker. IR means industrial relation is used to cover such aspect of industrial life as trade union, collective bargaining, workers' participation in management, discipline and industrial disputes. The following points we will be discussing in the subsequent slides. According to the definition given by J.T. Dunlop, he says industrial relations are the complex integration among the managers, workers and the agencies. So it is not just between the employers and the employee but also the government agencies who are being involved in the company. To understand the concept of industrial relation, employee and management in an organization is called as industrial relation. According to Dale Yordnar, IR is a designation of a whole field of relationship that exists because of the necessary collaboration of men and women in the employment process of industry. So it is not just only for a particular gender of the society, but it is also for the whole employee who are working in that particular organization. IR is concerned with the systems and the procedures used by union and employers to determine the reward for effort and other conditions of employment, to protect the interest of the employed and the employer, and to reduce the ways in which employers treat their employees. So, IR is basically focusing on every aspect of an employee and an employer. So, it is also focusing on the wages, it is focusing on the time, it is focusing on the treatment, it is focusing on the work that is being assigned. So it is focusing on everything that is related to an organization. So IR is having 2 points. First is the cooperation and the conflict. So basically what is happening when a person is joining an organization, he is in a cooperative mode. As soon as there is some changes, he goes into the conflict, and again the IR is basically defining those concepts to again change into the cooperation form, so that the employee is not employer and the employee is not having a bad industrial relation. Now, what was happening before the pre-independence? Before independence, it was like a hired and a fired strategy. The wages were not very good. Strikes, there were a lot of strikes in the British period. So, due to which there was not a good industrial relation that was being set up. After the independence, there was a Industrial Dispute Act 1947 that was being created. Indian Labour Conference ILO was set up. Labour law was enforced from 1947 to 1956. In 1956, there was a legal attachment to the voluntary arrangements. There were working committees, there were joint management, there were recognition of the union. So by 1966, National Commission of Law was appointed. In 1969, the recommendation was set up. There was an industrial truce resolution that took place in 1947, then in which the minimum wages was set. Then we have the Employee State Insurance Act that was being set up in 1948, so that a fixed amount of insurance to be given to the labor and the industry. What was the main aspect of the industrial relation? The main aspect of the industrial relation was to promotion and the development of healthy labor relations and the management, maintenance of industrial peace and avoidance of industrial conflicts, development and growth of industrial democracy. As we all know, if there are a conflict that is always going on in an organization, then it will create a disturbance in the growth and development of the company. Scope of industrial relation. Labor relation, that is a relation between a labor union and the management. Employer and the employee, it is a relationship between the management and the employee. The role of various parties in maintaining industrial relations. Mechanism of handling conflict between the employer and the employee. What is the objective of industrial relation? To avoid industrial conflicts and strife by developing a mutuality among the interests of concerned parties. Keeping as far as possible strike lockouts at bay by enhancing the economic status of the worker. Why strike and lockouts are always happening? The main reason for this, we are not getting the proper wages, or the employee is very dissatisfied with the wages that is being given to him. So he do the strikes, he do the lockout, due to which we are facing the problem. It will provide an opportunity to the worker to participate in management and decision making process. It will help in raising the productivity and overall turnover of an organization, and it will reduce the employee turnover and absenteeism. To improve the bargaining capacity of the workers through trade union, to ensure discipline in the organization, and this will ultimately improve the economic condition of the worker. This will safeguard the interests of the labor and the management by preventing one of the players from getting a strong hold over the other. To develop and secure mutual understanding and good relationship among all the players in the industrial setup. To maintain industrial peace and harmony by preventing the industrial conflicts. What is the importance of IR? It fosters the industrial peace. It promotes industrial democracy. It benefits the worker, management, and improves the productivity. What are the parties that are being involved? It is the employee, employer, and the government. What are the challenges that are being confronted by IR? It is first is nature of work, dissatisfactory compensation and the work condition, dysfunctional trade union, employer flexibility, non-conductive organizational climate. Now, nature of work. The basic is the job satisfaction. If a person is not satisfied with his work, or the work what is being allocated to him is not of his interest or not of his domain, then the employee will not be able to perform satisfactorily. Second is dissatisfaction compensation. It is related to the wages and the salary that is being offered to the employee for a particular work. So it might be low or high. Non-conductive organizational climate. This means that the organization is not very supportive to the feeling of the employee. So if that behavior is pertaining in an organization, it will create a problem for the employee. Employer flexibility. So it is basically related with the mode, time and everything. For example, if you have to report every day 9 o'clock and someday you say like I am unable to report at 9, can I report at 10? So if your organization say no, so that is not a very flexible organization. So you will say okay, I'll quit it and I'll find or I'll strike, or there's a unions. So that will create a disturbance for an organization. Last is dysfunctional trade union. It is meant to protect the interest of its member. The unions are used as a means to serve the purpose of few leaders rather than working in the wide interest of the employees. So it is working for, it is basically leaders of the organization who are handling it. How to build a sound IR? Developing the trust between labor and the management, existence of sound and democratic trade union, maintenance of industrial peace, continuous feedback and monitoring, and a professional approach should be followed. So in this all, I gave you a brief introduction about the IR. So IR is basically, if I summarize it, there should be a healthy relationship between an employee and an employer so that the organization can grow efficiently. Now in the subsequent lecture, we will be discussing about the strikes, lockouts and the collective bargaining.